Introducing the Parasine Self-Watering Propagator, a complete growing system for seeds and cuttings. Moisture is kept at the right level for successful propagation by capillary watering. Planting out is easy with pop and plant. Hi there. You may recall at the beginning of the series we looked at the importance of many of our insects and the roles they play in our garden. And then we started to build a bit of accommodation so that we can keep those insects in our gardens working well for us. Today we move up the scale and we build a bigger type of insect hotel that we can actually have a whole community of insects in there, and then we can enjoy the benefits that they are going to bestow on our garden, on our landscape, on our farms. As we move through the leaves of the Magnolia grandiflora, we find little land shrimps, we find earwigs, all have their role in this cycle of replenishment of the soil. And lessons are learnt for us in our building of shelters for these beautiful wee creatures. Ever since I was a young fella, I've loved exploring the world of the insects. They are so important in our world that we shouldn't be going out trying to kill every one of them. They keep the world going. There's nothing finer than making a mess in the shed, but when something like this comes out, you can feel very satisfied. This is the ultimate in insect hotels. We've got the penthouse area, we've got the cheaper areas, we've got all made out of macrocarpa, and I've used macrocarpa that has got little chunks of bark and little bits of borehole in it so that there is accommodation for the insects before you even start adding the furbishings. And I've assembled a whole range of different furbishings to put into this insect hotel so that we can get as wide a range as possible of lots of different insects. Even one or two creatures such as skinks and geckos may come in. So let's have a look at some of the things that I have saved ready to go into the grand insect hotel. The first thing that I'm starting to do in the furbishing of our grand insect hotel is taken some blocks of macrocarpa and drilled holes in them so that different sized insects. But through here we also have nature has done the job for us, putting a great big sliver of bark that's going to provide a great wee habitat for some more insects. You can be quite creative how you put these into your insect hotel, on the corners, on different angles. You can drill holes all the way through. This one here is going to be the penthouse right up the top there. How's that for looks? Well, you can stand that way. Now, I've already put a few things in here. We've got little slivers of harakiki seed heads. I've drilled a hole through, or the flax holes right the way through. Little bundles of those with different sizes of holes, so again, so different insects can go through. If you want to tie them in and bundle them with a little bit of wire or something, you can do. Now, another feature of the flax plant are the seed pods. Now, the Formium tenax, they have seed pods that hang down and have these beautiful areas that little insects can climb up into and have shelter. So some of these may even hang from the eaves of our insect hotel so that there's something for flying insects to come in and alight on. We've got little bits of punga put in here. Now these have a nice crinkly taste, but again, there's just places that the insects can crawl into. We've put some of those into there. Just you can keep adding things. And as you're out in the bush having a wander around or in your garden, see what insects are living under. See what they're associated with so that you can add into your hotel the specific exactly right things to be doing. Went out in the paddock and I grabbed a little bit of sheep's wool, and it's got some grass in it in there, but again, I don't know what's going to live in here, but it is a possibility if something will crawl in there and find refuge from the cold, refuge from the winter, somewhere can raise a family. More bark. And along the way, as I've been going, some of our man-made things can be added in. Clay pots, they hold moisture when they get a little bit damp, and I saved from the sawdust from the chainsaw when I was cutting the original Weta Hotel up so that the rippings can just go into there. We put our little pot in there and we've got another little environment. The collection of pine cones. Look at all those areas down in there. Think of who could live in there. All sorts of wee creatures. If you find your pine cones and they haven't opened up like this, pop them in an oven dish and put them in the oven at about 60 or 70 degrees. You'll hear a little bit of crinkle crackle as they open up and the seeds pop out, but you'll have beautifully open, dry pine cones to go and add one or two in there. And you can just keep adding stuff in. It's a great way to build up and see what's going to work. When we made the other part of the Weta Hotel, we had little chips from the chiselling out their beds, their rooms. We had drilling shavings. I'm just going to pop them into a little bit of PVC. Who knows what will go into there that can pop down. We've got more bits of flax that we can pop in there. And the big thing is, anything that you've got in the garden, get some pieces of twigs, some bunches of stuff, more clay pots, little bits of pipe, all can be used to make great wee habitats. The cut-offs of Novaflow, they can be even left as an entire burrow for things to come in. A smooth pipe can have insects that can stick onto the edges, or you can make a double layer. The possibilities are endless. So I'm going to sit back, have a think about what else I can add to this, and when you come back, let's go and pop this in the garden somewhere that's pretty special, ready for the creatures to come and enjoy them. Introducing the Parasine Self-Watering Propagator, a complete growing system for seeds and cuttings. Moisture is kept at the right level for successful propagation by capillary watering. Planting out is easy with pop and plant.